Welcome to another SWF Beach Life video. We've been doing a lot of shelling, and today I really wanted to go look for critters. So we headed over to Bunch Beach. The minute we walked into the water, we saw this guy, and he got attacked by something. He's got a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom. He was still alive, so I made sure to put him back, and hopefully he'll survive to, I don't know, slither to another day. Poor guy. We found a variety of critters. This looks like it's going to be a hermit crab. Yep. And he's hanging out in a crown conch shell. And he was shy. He didn't want to come out. So, after waiting to see if he'll make an appearance, I put him back. Let him do his hermit crab thing. Here is another lightning whelk. We found many whelk on this day. This guy was pretty, you can see it better in the light there. So super pretty color. Put him back. And here we have another one. I'm going to leave him alone. I don't feel like we need to pick up everyone.
Yeah, I video.
Except for this guy. That's kind of pretty. Now what they're doing is they're taking that black part is the foot, and they're pulling in that piece that's called the operculum. And that is a hard keratin-like covering that they have, and they go back into their shell and they protect themselves. So you can see that black part, that's the foot. Leave him alone. And that one has a super big foot. We called him Sasquatch. Bigfoot. Get it? And there's another one.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Kind of cool. Super pretty one. Beautiful. Alive and well, so he goes back, not a keeper. And yet another. So if you can imagine our delight, we went to go look for critters, and critters we found. That one's pretty. That's eggs. That is lightning whelk egg casing, and that will adhere to the bottom, and at one point they'll hatch little itty bitty shells that hopefully will grow up to be something like this. Cool big lightning whelk. And another lightning whelk. What's funny about Bunch Beach is I never seem to find lightning whelk shells, only the live whelk, which is really nutty. This guy was really kind of buried in there. I was kind of hoping it was empty, but no such luck, which is okay. He's got a whole bunch of barnacles on him anyway. So we'll find tons of these guys in Sanibel, just the shells, not the critters. Here we find all the critters and none of the shells. Don't know how that works. I wish these were all shells. That would have been awesome. And that's what it looks like. So if you ever get down to Bunch Beach, they are very similar color to the sand and the water, but you can see them. That's cool. Close himself up. Don't worry, dude. We'll put you back. Now that one I definitely have to take a closer look at because it's so pretty. Beautiful. Now I read a couple different places that they get to be 12 inches, 15 inches, 16 inches. I don't know. They get pretty big. And that thing has a bug on it. I don't know. I couldn't quite figure out what that was. So if anybody knows If you would leave me a comment and let me know, I would really appreciate it. Another interesting fact about the lightning whelk, the females get larger than the males. The mature males are only about half the size of the females. Little pink shell. Didn't come here for shells, but what the heck. You guessed it. Another lightning whelk. Looks like we got ourselves a hermit crab and a crown conch. We'll just put him back and, oh! What do we have here? That is a horseshoe crab, which is not a crustacean, but is actually an arthropod. The females get to be about 20 to 30% larger than the males. And here's a really weird fact about these things. Their blood is harvested for scientific research. I kid you not. But back in December 2019, a report of the U.S. Senate did encourage the FDA to establish alternative tests. So hopefully they can figure something else out. Crazy, right? Got that information on Wikipedia. Read more for yourself if you like. Crazy. And here we have ourselves, oh, super pretty lightning whelk. Little guy. He goes back. And here we have another one. We found a really big one. That's toward the end of my little video. So I'd mentioned we're at Bunch Beach. We're there super early. That's just our thing. We get up early and we go. There's literally like nobody else there. It was cold. And you know, when it's 50 and you're walking around in the water, it's cold. There's my husband. Beyond him is the Fort Myers Beach Bridge. That's North Fort Myers with the pink shell and Bowditch. Then you'll see Sanibel. And then that kind of wraps around. You'll see the causeway. And then it kind of wraps back up to Bunch. So that's our surroundings. That is more lightning whelk casing, egg casing. And we found another whelk and another whelk. It was lightning Whelk-palooza. Another whelk. And another whelk. I wish I had done a better job counting them. And another whelk. I don't know, lots. Many, many, many whelk. This I was looking at and I couldn't quite figure out what it was, and then I discovered it was garbage. Yep, beer bottle. All sorts of barnacles and weirdness on it, so I wanted to make sure that made its way into the trash. This is kind of weird. Well, it is what it is, I guess. It's little shells eating a dead crab. So those are itty bitty little snails. They're not shells, they're snails. And they're eating that crab. And just for size reference, here's my hand. So they're little bitty guys having their breakfast buffet. Yum. You guessed it. Another lightning whelk, but wait for this. We were so excited. We found a seahorse. Actually, we didn't. My husband found the seahorse. And so I ran over and took a little video. We got to get him back in the water. How cool is that? We were beside ourselves. Yes, seahorses are in the genus Hippocampus, which is the Greek word for seahorse, which is kind of cool. You might recognize the word hippocampus because it's also a brain structure thought to be crucial for memory function. He wasn't really doing great, so we've seen that do that with fish, kind of try to like oxygenate them, and I swear he seemed like he was doing a little bit better after that. So we just kind of kept an eye on him for a little while because of course it was fascinating and we really wanted him to live. Look at his tail's all curled up now. So pretty. So we watched him for a little while and we did end up moving him into deeper, darker water. I really didn't want a pelican to come down and kind of scoop him up. So hopefully he's doing his seahorse thing. Now that didn't look so big, right? Check this out. My husband had to use 2 hands. Look at that. That's a monster. And as he's closing his operculum, all that water's coming out. Neat, right? That's an old snail. Here we found a little crab. I couldn't quite see what it was. I mean, it's a crab, but we just let him do his thing. And here we have a live crowned conch snail. And maybe he's okay. I don't really know. I just felt the need to put him back in the water. Want to make sure he's going to be okay. And here we have, to me it looks like a pear whelk. There's nothing in it. I ended up giving that to some kayakers who had beached up later in the day when it got a little bit warmer. That is a live crowned conch. Kind of like totally hidden there. Is sand camouflage. That's another crowned conch. You can kind of see, well, there you go. See there? There it is. He's also kind of camouflage. And then I'm walking along and look at this. Sand dollar, just sitting there. Said, pick me up. So I obliged. I picked him up. So pretty. Obviously dead, so he's okay to take home. And then we also found this guy. It's a crowned conch with a little critter in there. So I was really lucky. I wanted to see critters, and critters we saw. He goes back in the water. So after that sand dollar dried out, it definitely got a lot lighter, but I'm probably going to end up bleaching it. So that's what it looks like when it's wet, a little bit darker, and when it's dry, it gets lighter. But like I said, I'm going to bleach it, and I'll show you what that looks like. So to everyone that has left me comments, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, especially when you correct me when I misname a shell. And just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the beachy goodness.